National for the fifth day. Feel that heat, 808 heartbeat, shaking concrete. This ain't hate, it's the right to demand truth. Yeah. Circle that day. November 24th. Let's get it. Yeah. Red Mark Monday, that's the one they fear. Whole squad ready, yeah, the message real clear. FBI lurking like wolves in the grass, but we spot every shadow when they slither and pass. They track everything, every step, every call. Act tough, but they crumble when the truth stands tall. File stack deep, but the story stays fake, and their lies hit brittle like a drywall break. They monitor the block like a live stream feed, but we cut through the noise like a blade through weed. Department of Corruption, gold badge, secure, same crooked blueprint. They been running since before they ain't guarding the people. They guarding control, got fear on retainer, and truth on parole. But we ain't staying silent, nah, we ain't obey. We just circle that Monday like a holiday. National for the fifth day. Stand up strong. Let the bass line it while we scream that song. They proud in the dark, but we glow all day. And we chant that Monday like a wartime spray. Yeah, National for the fifth day. Turn it loud. It's the beat for the bruise, for the push, for the proud. Not violence, resistance, we demand our say. And we raise that Monday like a flag in the fray. Now marshals stepping with that steel toe walk. Cross state chasers with their badges on stock. They say fugitive justice, but the lens stays skewed. They pick targets, not truth. Yeah, the bias being glued. Red squads lined up like a military drill, but precision don't matter when the motive ain't real.
What up?
Procedure ain't ethics when the script's one-sided, and every case closed got a truth they divided. We see the pattern repeat, same chase, same tone, but the streets are cold lies like a crack payphone. And that Monday hit bad like a toll. We don't pay another year, another sparks ain't run away. National for the fifth day. Feel that heat, 808 heartbeat, shaking concrete. This ain't hate, it's the right to demand truth, rights, dignity, not blood on our hands. U.S. attorneys, courtroom architects, stacking charges tall just to force your regrets. Bleed out or drown, yeah, that's the hidden name. Turn justice to a bargain like a marketplace game. Twist words in a knot, bend the rules on the slide. Call it fair on paper while they scheme on the slide. Inflate every detail like a headline bluff. Make the story look tough when the proof ain't enough. But that cycle breaks hard when we step and we stay. And we carve that reminder in November's day. That's one for the feds day. Wrong real for the race, for the lies, for the wounds. They hear one voice, one post, one fire, one say. And we mark that Monday like a permanent way. Circle that date. November 24th. Same fight, same fight.
Hey.
National for the Feds Day.
National for the Feds Day. One started out with that.
We the people new, exposing every move, every tyrant, every badge, every lie. They approve from Mississippi to Texas, up to Utah too. You retaliate against the truth, and the truth.
Where's my damn media player at?
Running in the state cruise, marshal judges, dirty cops, all the bad actors and view. I survived every trap that your government used. Now I'm back with the flag. We the people new. Yeah, started in Mississippi when the Tannehills lied. A restraining order forged just to keep me outside. No bonfire, no cars, just political pride. And 7 years later, that fraud still rise. Then the state doubled down, built the case off a myth. NBA.
All right. So I can't see if people are on here or not because I'm actually live streaming from a screen record app. So for those on here, I can't. If you've left something, the live stream messages in the Live chat, I can't see it because I'm on my phone and I'm on this screen share. I want to go over this. Got from my attorney his reply that he filed to the government's response on the motion to compel, and I want to go. I want to touch on it. On the things that he said, and the great. I mean, he made good arguments, but the biggest argument is not in here. Okay, so I want to create a record. Okay, so that it can't be said that this argument was not made and didn't give the government a chance to respond. I mean, of course, I'm gonna see to it that something is filed to this effect. All right. So the government, just to catch you up to speed, the government had responded to our motion to compel. The most key evidence in this case was never turned over, and that's the cameras, the video inside of the courthouse documenting the troubling conduct of both of the U.S. Marshals that were in there. One of them, Hayden Nugent, and the other one, I'm not sure what his name is. Okay. This video is absolutely critical. The government knew it was critical, and the government destroyed the video. It's very, very concerning, very troubling. All right. So my attorney responded to the government's response, in which they stated that the evidence is gone. Okay. So now in the court, through the undersigned counsel, comes defendant, yada, yada. Okay, let's go to the introduction. The government's opposition confirms a troubling pattern. Critical surveillance footage documenting Mr. Reardon's exercise of First Amendment rights on courthouse property has been lost through an unexplained technological error. And the government waited more than 2 months to inform the defense, despite receiving specific preservation requests. This evidence loss strikes at the heart of Mr. Reardon's constitutional defense in a case where the government seeks to criminalize journalistic activities and peaceful protest on traditionally public courthouse steps. And it it does more than strike at the heart of it. All right. Mr. Reardon, an investigative journalist operating We the People News, was arrested while documenting government misconduct, we should say, and airing grievances against U.S. Marshals he believes has been retaliating against him for his protected speech. The surveillance footage would provide the only objective record of whether his conduct actually obstructed courthouse entrances or whether he immediately complied with law enforcement directives, and respectfully request that this court order an evidentiary hearing at which the government must present competent witnesses with personal knowledge to explain the precise nature of the alleged technological error, when the error was discovered, what efforts were made to preserve the footage after receiving Mr. Reardon's September 8, 2025 preservation request, why the defense was not promptly notified, and what footage, if any, was successfully preserved. At the conclusion of this hearing, the court should consider the appropriate sanctions for the government's failure to preserve essential material evidence. I don't think there could be a trial. I don't see how I don't see how there can be, because what was destroyed literally, it's all the evidence proving serious misconduct by the government. This whole case has been nothing but misconduct. It's been a travesty of justice. The government's opposition provides no meaningful explanation for the absence of the surveillance footage. The simple explanation, technological error, provides no information about what actually occurred. What specific technological malfunction occurred? Was it hardware failure, software corruption, user error, or systematic deletion? When did this error occur? Before or after Mr. Reardon's September 8, 2025 preservation request? Who discovered the error and when? What diagnostic steps were taken to attempt data recovery? Why did some footage survive, the holding cell footage, while other footage was lost? Which specific camera locations were affected? These questions are not merely academic. The timing of any technological failure is critical to assessing whether the government fulfilled its preservation obligations. If the footage was destroyed after September 8, 2025, the government was on notice of its obligation to preserve the material evidence. The government cannot satisfy its burden by merely stating that an error occurred without providing specific verifiable details. Moreover, the government's claim that it attempted to capture and preserve all footage is hard to square with its failure to respond to Mr. Reardon's preservation request for more than 2 months. If the government truly attempted to preserve the footage in September, why did it not inform the defense that preservation efforts had failed? Why did the government produce supplemental discovery on October 14th and October 17th, 2025 without mentioning that the most critical evidence had been irretrievably lost? The government's silence suggests that no meaningful preservation efforts were undertaken. At an evidentiary hearing, the government should be ordered to produce a qualified witness from the entity responsible for maintaining the courthouse surveillance system, who can testify about the system's technical specifications, standard retention periods, backup procedures, and the specific nature of the alleged technological error. The individual who discovered the technological error and can testify about when it was discovered and what diagnostic steps were taken. The official responsible for responding to Mr. Reardon's September 8, 2025 preservation request, who can testify about what steps were taken, and documentation related to the alleged technological error, including error logs, maintenance logs, service tickets, and communications with technical support. Without such testimony and documentation, the court cannot assess whether the government satisfied its preservation obligations, whether the loss of evidence was in bad faith, and what remedies are appropriate. See, I mean, in any other world, the government would have dismissed its case. Hey, I see that. Hey, what's up, Poor Dirt Farmer? That did pop up right there. This is outrageous. This is absolutely outrageous. And it's like, instead of tossing in their bad hand, the government's doubled down. They've added a second U.S. attorney to try to prosecute me. Okay? This is unheard of. It's unheard of. The amount of money the government is spending to try to prosecute me on this sham charge is an absolute disgrace. And what's more of a disgrace is the fact that due process is being denied all the way around. Evidence is being destroyed. And it's somehow this case has survived to have not been dismissed. This is major. The United States government realizes and understands that it's major. 1971, we had the case of Cohen versus California, okay, that set the standard across the board. And it's my belief that this is one of those cases. This is one that will have concrete case law behind it, it will establish yet another mark, another standard, and that's why the government is spending as much money as they are. And assigning a second U.S. attorney, the initial judge recused, they're bringing another judge in from Lake Charles, Louisiana. Rule 16 requires production of evidence as material to preparing the defense. The surveillance footage here is the most probative evidence of the charged conduct. The government's case rests entirely on its characterization of Mr. Reardon's actions on the courthouse steps. The surveillance footage would definitively establish whether Mr. Reardon's conduct actually obstructed any functioning entrance, whether the door in question was locked, and whether he immediately complied with law enforcement directives. Now, pause right there, because here is what Dustin is leaving out. And there's no question about it. It has to be in here. It has to. It should have been, this should have been the first thing raised. And why it's not been raised yet, I'm getting pretty fucking pissed off. I mean, I'm getting pretty pissed off. So I got to take the reins right here. I got to make a record publicly on this. On my footage, which the government is trying to use to prosecute me, on my footage, you can clearly see that I turn and I'm looking at the courthouse. I see both the marshals up there. They're cutting up and they're waving me up there to the front door. It cannot be argued that where I was standing, right there beside the street, on the public sidewalk, was 100% constitutionally protected ground. Where I was at, where they attacked me, where they arrested me, was constitutional ground, was a public forum. Okay? But most certainly, where I was at, away from the steps, out in front of the courthouse, down by the road, was 100% constitutionally protected. When the marshals waved me up there to the front door, invited me up there, and I went up there, they then immediately threatened me with arrest. Okay? You can't see the marshals waving me up there on my video because my camera was not pointed towards the front door of the courthouse. But you can see my response. It's easy to get the timestamp of exactly when that was. And the government does not want you to know, does not want you to actually see the misconduct of its U.S. Marshals, of them cutting up, of them waving me up there. Okay? In my opinion, this is 100% an entrapment defense because I was encouraged by the U.S. Marshals to leave where I was at and to come up there by the doors of the courthouse. Had it not have been for that and them waving me up there, I would have stayed down there by the road. So this is absolutely, positively, in my opinion, the biggest part of all of this. My actions were 100% constitutionally protected. I 100% believe that. The marshals were the reason why I came out there to protest, were their actions. And then it was their actions again that brought me from where I was standing up there to the front doors of the courthouse. Okay? So that's why this footage disappeared. 100%, that's why the footage disappeared. They wanted to fix the evidence so that the evidence could not be shown. It was worth more to the government to destroy that and look as bad as they look in destroying it than for the court to see and for the public to see. That's what this is about now. This goes beyond just any type of spoliation of evidence. I believe that this is intentional evidence tampering, that this is the intentional destruction of evidence by the government. And I want a full investigation into it, a criminal investigation into it. This goes beyond civil. I am 100% making the charge and allegation that this was intentional evidence tampering and destruction by the government in order to try to shape their own narrative. Because everything else is on film. It can be argued that by my film, you can see exactly where I was at. We'll also take a look at that in this video, and I'll show you that I was actually backtracking. I was actually moving backwards, as the marshal said. He just had it in his eyes. He had it in his heart. He wanted to actually inflict violence, violently arrest me, and destroy my gear. And that was what he did. All right. Here, actually, you know what? I'm going to, let's do this real quickly. Let's watch right there. Let me look at something real quickly.